welcome to yet another amazing episode of Breakfree Millions with your coach Iffat Khan. Well, this is the place where you break free into the life and the business you desire.
Vandana Suri is a mom and a caretaker first. She is also a serial entrepreneur and carries with her over 2 decades of working experience involving diverse industry and in dynamic roles. She is the founder of Taxshe, which is the pioneer in all women driving cabs in India. Taxshe is a movement that makes India safer by knitting together a reliable transport fabric exclusively for women and kids. She has been featured on The Hindu, Business Standards, Deccan Herald, Your Story, and The Times of India. She has been awarded by the World Bank Award, which is co-sponsored by World Bank Group, UNDP, UN Women, and the Wharton School's Zicklin Center that showcases women entrepreneurs who are helping to achieve the SDG goals.
So let's welcome Vandana Suri from Taxshe. Hi Vandana,
Hi.
welcome to our show.
Thank you so much.
Good to have you here. Well, I remember meeting you a couple of years back and hearing your story, and I was totally inspired and with that, because at that time I think I was just working and I saw you and I was so inspired, and I always wanted to have something like this, and I'm so happy to finally meet you and have you on our show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like overwhelmed right now because I've been on this show with Ifat. Like, wow.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And the purpose of doing this is basically to go out there to share our journey, entrepreneurial journey, because there are so many struggling entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs who really want to start something of their own, but they just can't seem to figure out how to go about doing it. And I understand, when it comes to business, you need an idea, you need to have passion, but what exactly is your take onto it? I want to understand what made you start something such beautiful and meaningful as Taxshe?
I think beyond just having an idea, beyond just having passion, is how valuable is what you bring out there. And that should be your trigger point. Everything can make money. You can sell papads and make money.
Absolutely.
Right? There's profit margins, there are losses in every single business. But what is your calling? I think you need to go as business into what your calling is. Very importantly. I think as a woman, we've all been unsafe. Me too, whether we speak or we don't speak, we are all me toos.
Absolutely.
Right? How much we may talk about it, we may not talk about it. And how long will we stay like this?
Sure.
So somewhere that burning insecurity, irritation, that anger has actually got very positively moved into Taxshe.
Okay.
I'm using that anger to run this movement called Taxshe. I think it's high time we women are safe, our kids are safe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do it. As simple as that.
So what exactly was the trigger point? What exactly made you start something like this? Because nobody has actually taken the initiative like how you have and taken this to another level. So what made you take this up?
See, today, look at the fact that there are so many rapes happening all across the globe. We are all angry. And we have multiple groups conversing on this. What is that step which each one has taken? Change can't happen because you think about it.
Absolutely.
Just because you think about it, just because 5,000 people think about it, it doesn't change anything, right? So there was an incident. So after Nirbhaya, I think we've all been extremely on the edge with the Nirbhaya incident.
Mm-hmm.
It's still not over, and God knows when it will be over. But the fact remains that it was a bothersome event. After that, a year later, there was this rape that had happened in an Uber in Delhi. And that lady's headline was what changed the whole thing. The next day, she just came out with a headline that if there was a woman driving me, this would not have happened. And I said, what am I waiting for? I'm a woman, I can drive. Where are the rest of them? So I said, okay, let me start this. That was the only thing. I think the triggers are all through our life.
Mm-hmm.
It's when you decide to change and act on it.
Mm-hmm. there are so many of us, when we talk about rape cases, when we talk about violence, when we talk about physical abuse, especially to women, there are so many of us who kind of just sit, we talk about it, we think about it, but not many actually take any steps to do anything.
Yes.
And that's and in fact, when we talk about our government, when we talk about our policies, there's nothing much happening.
Yeah.
And I don't know if many people are actually taking these things in our hands, but you have honestly proven that an individual can actually go ahead and take such a crucial matter, you can take in your hands and you can actually do something which brings about the impact.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful. Why is that not many people are able to do it? Why is that something like this also is not put into limelight? What are your take on that?
I don't think it's about putting to limelight or not. It is how much you are on the edge which makes you take that stand. It's about us realizing that there is something bothering inside and that has to be addressed. I think I was, if I look at my childhood, I was always the loud-spoken, right in the face, blunt to the core, a lot of anger as childhood itself.
I can connect to that. When I was a child, I too had a lot of anger, seeing things happening which should not. So it was there, and I'm quite sure most of girls face that.
Yeah, and my mom used to bottle me down. She used to say, no, girls are not supposed to be like this. Be nice and polite and docile. And so we went into that segment and decided, okay, that's how we're supposed to be. But somewhere, that fire is fire. Whether you use it positively or you use it negatively, it's still fire. So that fire was bottled up inside. Today, when my son, who's 16, talks something which is right blunt in the face, and he's tried to, no, this is not the best way to talk, and I'm like, no, let him be vocal about it. It's okay. Because if there's a leadership streak in him, it will come out. How much ever you try to bottle it. So somewhere I think as a child itself that fire was very high, but we were bottled up. Now it's like that soda bottle which opened up.
How many years did it actually take you to come across do something like this?
Oh, I've been this wild one right from birth, so like 40 years when I started out something like this. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And imagine that. Do you think it's probably the society, the way that we live in, everything that actually impacts us, so that we wait and we wait and we wait until at a certain age we just cannot wait anymore and we just go ahead and do something like this?
That's when the outburst. So outburst is positive. It is not negative.
Yeah.
For some people it may be negative, but if it is positive for the larger good, it better happen.
Yes.
It's important to fuel that.
And something like this is positive for sure.
Absolutely.
I've been seeing so many, when I started out my entrepreneurial journey and doing business, and it was thought as it's bullshit. You just can't, do something like that because you're a woman. You don't really have to do something like that. You don't really have to start your business. And why do you want to go through that entire turmoil of starting businesses, making the money, then failing? If things don't happen, then what are you going to do? How are you going to go? How will you combat the challenges? And it's actually the people around us are protective. It's not for the bad. It's probably
they're just protective,
they're just protective, and it's somewhere good, but not to an extent where you are not being able to find what your inner calling is like. Like you said, right now this is your calling. For me, the work that I do, I'm extremely passionate about the work that I do because
it's your
this is my calling. This is what brings out the true. The truth out. It brings the truth out. It's not all fairy tale, starting a business. And when aspiring entrepreneurs, like I meet a lot of them, so we conduct a lot of sessions, we do a lot of coachings, and so when these guys come in and then they have to take a decision to either go ahead, start up something, change their life, live their dream or not. And I would tell you about 90% decide not to do anything. Just go back doing the same thing that they've been, doing forever.
It's also a matter of fact for people on entrepreneurship as to how much courage do I have to rock the boat?
Yeah.
you're changing a boat. You're in a nice sailing, comfortable
comfortable,
life.
yeah.
Now you're in the middle of the water, changing your boat. It is going to rock. And how ready you are for that. And that is, I think, what stops people from, that fear. If I fall into the water, then
What's
what
gonna happen?
happens? Yeah.
So people are quite comfortable where they are, and that's why maybe not many action takers are what we find. People who are doing things which add value to other people's lives, not only their lives, actually changing. I had this weird thing about going ahead and changing the world. I had no idea how I'm going to do that. But I used to see somebody literally crying. I used to see people, I used to see women literally being, they're really tortured. They're sad, they're depressed, and they can't voice out. And I had no idea what I'm going to do. Like you just said, I could so connect with you that there's something in you. The fire is always there, but you don't know how to go ahead and take the best or make the best out of that. And this is exactly it. This is how it comes across, which is in your case, Taxshe. And it's beautiful, it's brilliant. The work that you're doing is so amazing. I really want to go ahead and touch upon a couple of points. Like you go ahead and train and hire underprivileged women. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so can you please explain a little bit more about?
So let me tell you a bit about what Taxshe is. While everybody thinks Taxshe is a cab company, a woman cab company, it is a cab company. It's registered as one. But Taxshe is a lot of ethos, much beyond. We are thinking and we are trying to see how we can curb child sexual abuse. Okay. We did a lot of research on this. I myself been abused as a child, and that feeling of abuse never ever gets over. So it continues in our relationships as teenagers, puppy love. It continues into our marriages. It continues into insecurity, which goes into our own children. So if I faced abuse at 5, I am going to carry that experience, although you think it doesn't matter, but I'll be carrying it till I'm 65. I think it's the worst kind of epidemic to happen to anybody, and it's happened to a lot of our children. Times of India talks about a 53% child sexual abuse rate in India. 53% means my child or his best friend.
Yeah.
It's as close as that, right?
Every 1 and 2.
Yeah. So the idea was, how do we curb this right at the childhood level? Where is this child unsafe? The child is unsafe when he's out of sight of the parent. Point number 1. Where is the child out of sight of the parent? Is when he's traveling to school or he is in school. In school now you have all CCTVs, you have all women staff in school right now. So there itself there is quite a bit of filtration. But then what happens to this in transit? And that's when we decided that while we are empowering women, while we are training women, what is the larger purpose?
Right.
And that's where, as a cab, which was a very practical solution, we started training women from the underprivileged segments to take up a motherhood role and to take these kids to schools and tutorials.
Nice.
There are such less women in the country who are professionally driving. If I talk of statistics, we are 133 crore population.
Right.
Between 4 to 5 women cab companies in India right now, we have maybe about 200, 250 women who are professionally driving. That is it. So the need is so high. Sexual abuse rates at 53%. So this fits in amazingly well as a solution to this. So morning to evening we pick up and drop kids, take them to tutorials. We are alternate moms for them. Evenings is a time women need safety. I think we are pretty safe in the daytime. Nights is when we are worried. So nights we drive women.
Okay.
As simple as that. We've just bifurcated the entire thing. Now to make this entire thing happen, we have to train women from the underprivileged segments. Honestly speaking, a middle class woman doesn't want to be called a driver. It's a very blue collar.
Okay. So Vandana, do you think doing something like this has actually created a safer environment for the people, for children, or for women? have you seen the impact yet?
Yes, I really feel that this is safe both for the drivers as well as for the society at large. So on one hand, these women that we are training in driving, in self-defense, in first aid, they get a life skill which obviously stays with them forever. They get a purpose in their life, that they are keeping somebody safe, so it's not a driving job.
Really nice.
There's a big drive behind what they're doing right now. The impact is here in that leadership which is coming in this girl. Then she is also driving only women and children. So she herself is also safe as well as the client is safe.
Right.
The more women out on the roads, the safer it is for all of us.
Right.
Bottom line is there.
Brilliant.
You know, the more women come out. I'm now in fact going into the tourism segment where I'm actually calling women, girls out of colleges, go drive an expat, man. Make her life easier in my country. You also make an income out of it. Beautiful, no?
Really nice.
You also go have your holiday.
Absolutely.
What's wrong? It's beautiful. So I'm just trying to see how we can get more women an ecosystem of safety for ourselves. Let's be selfish around here.
And we need to do
course.
it. Each one of us have to do it.
Absolutely.
You know, it's our responsibility. It is our moral duty also to go ahead and take care of the people that's not only with us but also in the country, in the world. And why not? Because you know, you have to take care of your fellow being. I mean, that's exactly, and we all have to get together, Vandana. The thing is, you know, couple of us, maybe we think and some don't do, but people like you're actually going out and doing these amazing things. But each one of us we have that responsibility, and we must do something about it at the end of the day. Now, you know, I really want to ask you, you know, about this, the challenge that you actually face. So did you have that idea that you'd be going ahead and probably recruiting women who were from the urban, or was it always that you wanted to go ahead and take women from the rural?
No, for me, rural, urban, rich, poor, nothing matters. For me, it is women. That's it. That is the only classification I have. How educated they are, how uneducated they are, how much they're making, does not matter.
But did you find it challenging to approach urban women?
So that was the first point when I started to think about this, and when I went and formed my company, there was no woman who wanted to be a cabbie, not even one.
Right.
So I started it myself. I said, okay, people will look at me. If I can do it, why can't you? You know, I'm still hoping it still runs. 5 years later, I'm still doing the same thing, right? I spoke to a lot of my friends, and while they are very happy to do this, they don't want to be seen in a yellow board vehicle with a tagline of a taxi driver.
Okay, so is that the mindset?
That is the taboo. The taboo is not a single woman says, I will not do it. They love it. They're like, wow, can I do it in my own car? And I said, boss, the laws of the country talk that you cannot do this. You have to do it in a commercial vehicle. But the taboo behind the commercial vehicle is so high that people don't want to take this.
Okay.
Because it's supposed to be a low society or high society. And whatever, you know, when we go, all of us, guys go out in the US and drive cabs and Uber and everything. But we women have a problem with this. What the heck?
I again would go ahead and bring that, you know, it is because of the way that we live.
Yeah.
It's because of the society, it's because of the programming, it's because of the culture, it's because, you know, girls are not supposed to do this and boys are supposed to do this. Men aren't supposed to do this or women are supposed to do this. So it's kind of, that's exactly how we've bifurcated everything, and it's responsibility of a man to probably go out there and earn, and it's a responsibility of a woman just to take care of the household. And probably that's exactly is the problem.
But when you do things with a purpose, then everything else fades away. Okay?
I totally get you, because I can see how passionate you are with the work that you're doing, because you have that drive, you have the purpose, you know that you're getting peaceful sleep because you're doing something which is adding meaning to everybody's life. And that's the most important thing which people don't understand. So what exactly is wrong is that I'll tell you. Sorry, you want to say something?
No, please understand.
Yeah. So when we go ahead, let's say you went ahead and you approached women who, let's say, have that mindset. They really want to do it, but they cannot. Why? Because maybe the family isn't supporting.
Yes.
They don't have the right support system.
Yes.
And things like that. And I have seen that over and over again. Even when it comes to opening a business, doing something which is not conventional. Okay.
Yeah.
Out of the norms, doing something different. It's just a huge thing for everybody, even if it's not for the woman herself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and that kind of, and
Yes.
for that reason, they just stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah, it does. But I still feel that this will break someday.
It will.
I'm very, very sure
Absolutely,
about it.
it will.
Uh,
It is happening, Vandana. It is happening.
And even today, when, like I said, when we are even teaching the underprivileged right now driving, and they're driving kids, the job is not put to them as a cabbie at all. The job is put to them for being a mother.
Beautiful.
And that's why they come.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm selling them a taxi job,
Mm-hmm.
there are loads of companies who are so highly funded.
Right.
They can really throw money on the table, but still women are not taking that.
Right.
Right? Still we just have a handful of women across the country. But it's all about how you find your purpose in what you're doing. Money follows. Some of my girls, I must tell you, so these are women who are 30 to 45 years. These are moms. These are women who faced abuse. I have a burn victim working with me. And these women have bloomed right now. Every day they're
Wow.
sitting with kids. My God! Today I drove one little kid, and 1.5 hour I'm talking baby talk. I just put a Facebook post on how I did baby talk. It's my dream come true. We're talking like babies. Who listens to you? But that fellow's very interested in listening to me, a 4-year-old. I'm singing Baba Black Sheep with him. I'm singing Old MacDonald with him, right? And this is the same experience my girls today are having with children in the car.
Nice.
It's amazing. They are not being judged by which household you're coming from. They're just kangaroos. They're a kangaroo, for the child.
Carrying the child, yeah.
And they're just freaking out. They're learning ABCD in the car. My English tutorials happens in the car. The kids are training them.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So the experience itself is very different. Plus she's making money for that.
Yeah. That's
You
incredible.
do what you do best and make money for it. Wow, how better can it get?
Yeah, and also, if you go ahead and reach out to rural women, they too have the kind of a mindset that they cannot do a lot of things because of where, and especially more than the urban women. But then you going ahead, you're actually breaking that barrier for them. So you're going ahead, you are going out to them, you're reaching to them, and you're enrolling them for your, company.
Here is one case where I'm not bothered about, or she's also not bothered about how much she's educated. She's not.
Brilliant.
She is driving. Her core is to drive somebody safe. Her core is to take care of kids. We are all wired as women with that motherhood. It's just in our DNA. I don't know where it came from, but it's there. And we're just making a career out of it. That's it.
Nice.
Motherhood is a career.
Brilliant. And then I really want to ask you something which has been in my mind, and I want to ask you this. Looking at you, you're like such a strong woman, and you really inspire so many women out there. Not only women, men also. I want to ask you, what is that challenge? I'm quite sure this project of yours, this company of yours would have been so challenging. But what is that one challenge that you broke free of? I really want to know, and our viewers want to know. She's just stopped.
I think the biggest challenge, to be very honest, which we succeeded over, so we have millions of them, okay, like millions of challenges, but I think the biggest one we went free of was that women can't drive.
I love that.
No, they can. Trust me on this.
And they can drive well.
Yes. So
they know the directions, they know the roads, and they can actually drive well.
it might take longer to train them. It might be a different skill set to train them. especially with the underprivileged class, with their awareness, with their confidence levels. It is a challenge, but hey, you know what? They're better than many of the guys around. Sorry, but that's the reality. I
totally
can
love that.
put a competition today on parking, and my girls will succeed any day, hands down.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Totally awesome. I loved it, Vandana, because especially both of us are women sitting here.
You'll be very surprised. We also run these sessions for women like you who have learned how to drive, who have a license, but they still can't drive.
Wow.
10 years they would not have driven.
Yeah.
You will not believe we train those women on their own cars, on their own routes. The first statement I talk when I get into her car to train her, I am not your husband. 50% of my job is done. Literally. She just needs to know that there is no man evaluating me right now.
Okay.
It is such an
Do you
unsaid
think it's
thing.
actually there in the mind?
Yes,
Why-
it's a
why
very
they learn?
unsaid thing. Today, who's talking women don't drive men well? The men.
Hmm.
That is also the reality, right?
But there are a lot of women who kind of accept the fact that, they
Because
just,
it's been drilled into them.
yeah.
It's constantly been drilled into them that no, you cannot. Right from our fathers to our brothers to our grandfathers to our sons. The same thing. It's that patriarchy which comes in.
Right.
You start believing, even if it's nonsense.
And it's not just with regards to driving, but it's with regards to
everything.
aspect,
Yes.
every aspect.
From
of
the
your
day you're born, if you're going to be drilled in with something, you are going to believe, okay, maybe this is the way it is.
life. Good, very good. In fact, this will be such a breather for a lot of women who wouldn't want to go out there and learn driving, or maybe.
Please don't go with the men. Seriously, do not have, especially somebody in your relations, your boyfriends, your husbands, don't go with them. Please go professionally and learn.
Yeah, and we have Vandana to help you out with that, ladies.
It's not, just break that mindset. Just break that mindset that there's a man sitting next to you. That is it. That is running that subconscious message in your head that this guy is judging me that I can't drive. That is what is not letting you break that barrier.
And that's
for driving.
true.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yes.
Because if you are going out with your boyfriend, with your husband, with your father, with your brother, with any man in your family, and you know that how well they drive because they do it so often, you'd be sitting beside them and you'd be thinking, oh, you know what, I can't really drive that well, so I better don't do it.
Yes.
And that's
It's
the
same
mindset
thing,
which
it's the
goes
same thing
on.
with cooking, right?
Yeah.
We women do this to the guys all the time. Hello, you don't know how to hold a knife.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who fellows trying to do something? Don't be always,
Yeah.
buckle him
That's
down.
there.
Hello, you don't know how to boil, you don't know how to put on the gas. The same thing they're doing here. That's it.
Absolutely. Right, amazing then. I'm going to ask you, has there been an incident which was like the funniest of all?
We actually have a lot of funny moments that are happening. Okay, women empowerment is not boring, guys. It's a lot of fun. In fact, we have so much fun doing what we do. One of my clients actually tells me that, Randy, you have to become a stand-up comedian one day. So that's the next career, maybe my retirement plan. You won't believe this. I must tell you about this particular incident that happened. We had this girl called Vijaya. Zero education. She must have been maybe first standard, or I don't know even if she did that. Right? She would only keep saying, I don't know English, and all the time she was wailing in her own thing. Suddenly, she knows how to drive, and she is this super girl right now. You know that?
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly, she was driving this client, and this lady had to back up the car. And there was this huge bike of this client's husband, which was kept behind the car. So the client said, listen, I'll get you the key. Let's move this bike out and we will take the car out. Vijaya suddenly is so powerful. She says, I don't need the key. I'm going to just move it like this. That was that huge Honda bike. It was, and the client is just looking at her like really shocked state of mind. No, I can do this. And she tried to move that bike, which was, I don't know how many hundreds
Wow,
of kgs.
she did that.
And it was hilarious, alright. And she's like, this is not moving, and that child's 2-year-old kid is laughing away at her as to what she's doing. Finally, they got the key, but the exhilaration which this girl had, that I am
power.
the Stree Shakti was like, boss, it doesn't happen like this. It's just so stupid, You won't believe another incident with the same client, okay? This client has a parking which is, I think it's around 70 degrees, going reverse in a very high slope.
Mhm.
And that was, I think, the first little damage that we ever did. This lady decided to go back that 70 degrees on the back side,
Mhm.
and she scratched the client's car. Okay, a small little scratch. Now this client was ballistic. So I said, hey, listen, I'm sorry. It was a very tricky parking. We will clean this up and we'll make it up for you.
Mhm.
It had about 2 inches of scratch on her car. Her contention that day was not about the scratch on the car. Her contention was, what will I talk to my husband?
Mhm.
He's been telling me women can't drive, and now he's going to fight with me on this scratch. I'm like, hello, I'll just make it up. Don't tell your husband, relax, But you see the conversation that's going on.
Yeah.
In fact, I told the client that, next day I'll send you somebody else. The beauty of it was the client said, bring this girl back only tomorrow. I said, you were just ballistic. You were just so angry that she scratched your car.
Mhm.
And you're telling me to send her back again.
Mhm.
She said, no. If I don't encourage her now, she will break.
Right.
So I'm
True.
going to teach her how to do the 70
It's amazing.
degree parking behind.
Amazing.
I mean, we've had the most supporting people in our lives.
Amazing.
So it's not that your perfectionism glorified.
Absolutely.
It's okay.
Absolutely.
And there are people pitching in to help. It's beautiful.
Nice. So we've come to an amazing section which I totally love it. That's called the rapid fire, and I'm gonna go ahead and ask you a couple of questions, and I want you to take just a second and answer me. Are you up for it?
Am I allowed to be nervous?
Oh, you can. That's okay. All of my guests are nervous, Vandana. The moment I tell them rapid fire, and they'll be like, huh? But let's see how we roll this out, okay?
Shoot.
Are you ready?
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Shoot.
so this is on the basis of the concept of what I teach, Breakfree. I'll just quickly tell you what exactly that is. It revolves around the concept of, in order for you to break free in your life, or start a business, or make a business successful, or make your dream come true, you need to go ahead and have a couple of concepts with you and believe in them. First of all, trust and believe. You've got to trust what you're doing. You've got to believe in that. Perception, you need to have the right kind of perception and taking that step ahead. Contribution, you should be able to, like what you're doing, you should be able to contribute for a better world, for the betterment of the society and the people. And we have legacy. An entrepreneur, if you are here and you want to start something of your own, there must be something, a purpose, a reason that you want to go ahead and do this for and leave behind for the generations to experience and impact them. And your purpose, okay? It revolves around these concepts, okay? And we're gonna go ahead and quickly do this rapid fire for you. So first one, the question for you is, I'm gonna guess, so you need to, on a scale of 0 to 10, okay, where 10 being the highest, I want you to give me a number. How much do you believe in yourself? Give me a number.
10.
Amazing. How much do you believe in everybody else?
At least 8.
That's an honest answer coming from Vandana. Amazing. Now, when it comes to perception, okay, I want to ask you, give me again a number, okay, on the basis of perception. How do you see a problem at hand? Give me a number from 0 to 10. Like when you have a problem or a challenge at hand, how easily or how much is it difficult for you? Is it easy for you to tackle it? To
tackle it depends on the problem. It could range between 5 to 10. I mean, I'm the type.
So what is your perception? Let's say you get, like today, Taxshe, you're running this, you get a huge challenge coming. So what exactly your perception would be right then?
I will solve it.
You will solve it.
There
So what's
is
the
no
number
choice.
that you're going to give it?
10.
Okay, brilliant, amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you on the basis of contribution, okay? on a scale of 0 to 10, how much do you contribute to yourself and to others around you? First, give me a number for yourself and then for others.
For myself,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, can I keep that 0? It's like, okay, 2. So 2, I think I'm taken for a ride, man.
You need to come to my sessions. You need to do that.
Okay, me is 2, please. Okay.
And what about others?
I think at least 7 or 8. I think I'm
You
there.
do. I'm quite sure you do
Yeah.
more, but then you just being a little humble.
Yeah. Maybe,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, nice. So let's go ahead to the next one. We're going to ask you about your purpose, okay? Give me one word for this one, right? Why are you here? Have you found your purpose yet?
Yes. Absolutely.
So okay, you found your purpose. So why do you think you are here? Maybe, can you give a word for that?
Change.
Love it. Amazing. Right. And the next one is going to be, legacy, okay? Sensitive question, but let me go ahead and do this like I always do it. If you were to just leave this world all of a sudden and and you were to just go, what do you want the world to remember you at large as, like Vandana is or Vandana was?
I think I want the world to remember me as Vandana was this absolutely mad woman who take the bull by the horns and throw him off. That's what I want the world to remember. You see that outside in New York. There's this outside the Wall Street place. There's this little child, this little girl with the bull in front.
I haven't observed.
You must. You must Google this. You must Google this. There's this little girl. It's been made by a company called State Street. Right in front of the stock exchange building, there's this huge bull of the stock exchange, and this little girl is looking right at that bull in the eye, like here I am, and that is me. So when I look at that picture,
so you'd be remembered as
fearless girl. You can do a Google on that. You can do a Google on that. Just do a Google on that.
I am not supposed to go
that's me. Okay, now you see that, you know me.
bold, and for somebody to go ahead and do something like this definitely needs a lot of courage, Vandana. So hats off to you.
Thank you.
Hats off to the beautiful work that you're doing. Such meaningful work, so much of value. You're actually going ahead and bringing about a change, and I'm quite sure it's gonna happen. So down the line, just wait and watch. Your vision. Oh well, by the way, what exactly your vision is like when it comes to Taxshe?
My vision is again beyond the cabs. I don't want the next generation to know what was Me Too. They should not know what is abuse. They should be laughing, ke, what were you fighting about? They shouldn't be able to relate to what we've been through.
Mm-hmm.
That is my vision, that our kids grow up nice and safe, untouched, beautiful lives. That's my vision.
Beautiful. I love it. Totally love it. Amazing then. I've had I would say a soulful and a very meaningful conversation so far with Vandana, and I totally enjoyed it. I hope you did. But before we let this amazing woman, this fearless woman go, we're going to go ahead and ask her something that I want to ask you, by the way, Vandana, what is that message you want to go ahead and leave out to the world, to the people listening?
I want to leave a very, very simple message, okay? Today I have followed that voice inside me, and that's why I'm here, an investment banker turned cabbie, and just enjoying and loving what I do. The point I'm trying to make to everybody, what is it that sells about me to you right now, you're listening to me, is the fact that I am talking what's going on in your mind, which possibly you may not have the guts or the thought to come out with it, but I'm talking what is going on in your mind. Just listen to your own voice. Figure out how to make your voice heard and be productive about it. Just figure out. You'll be there. That's the message I want to give you all.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I loved having you here.
Thank you.
We're going to meet again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys, and take care. Well, I totally enjoyed this session, and I'm quite sure you loved it too. And if you did love this episode, please let us know. We will be more than happy to bring such amazing entrepreneurs on our show just to go ahead and share some valuable insights from them, and I hope this helps. And if you really liked it, I want you to go ahead and share this with whoever you know. You never know who just with a share you can just go ahead and help them out. Just share, subscribe and like, and keep watching us. Thank you so much, and we will be back again with one of your favorite entrepreneurs. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.